the Arizona Department of Veterans Services, we thank you for joining us today as we commemorate Memorial Day. Due to COVID-19, we can't meet in person today, but we still want to make sure we take time to honor and remember the brave men and women who gave their lives in service to our nation. During this ceremony, I'd like you all to think about what Memorial Day means to you. For me, I think about my uncle, my mother's brother, my Uncle Bill, whose full name is Aeolian Edward Lockhart Jr., who joined the Army in 1950. He was handpicked to integrate Fort Bragg in North Carolina during the Korean War. He was a member of the segregated United States Army Infantry. During his duty, President Truman signed an executive order to desegregate the armed services, and he was one of 8 black soldiers chosen to integrate. I always remember my Uncle Bill as being a stellar individual who believed in fighting for this nation's freedoms, even though he was alive during a time when he did not receive all those freedoms. I'm proud to be the legacy of this Army soldier and to have served as well to continue the legacy of my military family.
Hi, this is Governor Ducey. During this unique time in our nation's history, Memorial Day serves as a reminder of the meaning of service and sacrifice. Today we remember and honor the more than 1 million Americans, soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, and National Guard who have served and died for our nation. From the founding of America to present day, these brave men and women have answered the call to serve and have given what President Lincoln called the last full measure of devotion, and we are eternally grateful. This Memorial Day, as you spend time with friends and family, I also want to remind everyone to stay safe and healthy. This means continuing to follow the guidance from public health officials and continuing to act responsibly as Arizonans have. May God bless and comfort the families of America's fallen heroes, and may He watch over and protect all who continue to serve. Thank you, and may you have a meaningful Memorial Day.
Memorial Day, we as a country come together to honor and to remember our servicemen and women who have answered America's call to service and paid the ultimate price. Memorial Day is that time for Americans as one to stand up and say, thank you. We remember you. We are grateful for you. Our country's first national cemeteries were established the years following the Civil War, which ended in the spring of 1865 and claimed more lives than any conflict in U.S. history. Americans in various towns and cities had begun holding springtime tributes to these countless fallen soldiers, decorating their graves with flowers and reciting prayers to honor those who had made the ultimate sacrifice. Today, we continue remembrance of our fallen here at the Arizona Veterans Memorial Cemetery. Thank you for joining me, as it is an honor to stand in front of you and speak about something I hold so dearly, remembering the sacrifices of our nation's heroes. I'm Tom Shambo, Chairman of the Arizona Veterans Memorial Cemetery Foundation. My father, all of my uncles, and one of my aunts served in World War II. My uncle, Louis J. Archambault, was one of the roughly 19,000 American soldiers killed at the Battle of the Bulge. This is why today and every day, I ask that we continue making good on our promise to honor our fallen. On December 26, 1944, my grandmother became a Gold Star mother. As with all Gold Star mothers, we honor your loss today. We can thank our veterans for fighting for them when they can't, by ensuring they and their survivors get the care that they earned when they wrote that blank check payable and up to, including giving their lives. Just as poppies have become the symbol of remembrance, like the one I'm wearing this morning, so too is the following poem, In Flanders Field, by John McCrae. In Flanders fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, we felt, sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from falling hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us and die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
I'd like to thank each of you for taking the time out of your day today to stand with us in recognition and honor of those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice in service to this nation. I would like to also take just a moment to recognize all of those among us who have served or are currently serving, as well as many here who have lost a loved one in service. We are humbled by your sacrifices, as we know they are great, and we commend the demonstrations of courage and strength that you no doubt have shown throughout the most difficult of times. Personally, I can't even begin to comprehend a loved one who watches their service member walk away for what might be the final time. You watch them disappear out of your line of sight, knowing it may very well be the last time that you see them, the last time that you're able to give them a hug, and the last time that you're able to tell them that you love them. But this has been a stark reality for many families over the centuries of our nation's history. So too have been the telegrams, the middle of the night phone calls, and the chaplain standing in the front door of the next of kin, waiting to let them know that their loved one has died. It is all too easy for those who have never suffered such losses to see past these holes left in families and communities across this land. That's simply our human nature. As Franklin D. Roosevelt once said, those who have long enjoyed such privileges as we enjoy forget in time that men have died to win them. Our way of life has been shaped and made possible by those who have served, and more precisely, those we have lost. You might have already heard some of the stories, but each of them of true valor are awe-inspiring, and many are just a few feet from us here at the Southern Arizona Veterans Memorial Cemetery. Posthumous Medal of Honor recipient Army Staff Sergeant Travis Atkins of Bozeman, Montana, was killed in action in Iraq on June 1st, 2007. Staff Sergeant Atkins died shielding 3 other soldiers from a suicide bomber's detonation. His son, Trevor, who was just 11 at the time of the attack, accepted the award on behalf of his late father. And his mother, Elaine, who also attended the ceremony, recalled her trip to Fort Drum to attend his unit's deployment ceremony. At the Medal of Honor presentation, his mother, Elaine, recounted that she thought to herself, "You know, a parent always realizes that some of these warriors are not going home." This is the reality of military service, and this is what we take to heart on Memorial Day. We are able to be here today largely thanks to those who are not. There are many ways you can keep our fallen comrades, as well as our injured and ill veterans, in your mind and hearts throughout the year. If you are so inclined, your local veterans organizations have multitudes of opportunities for you to connect and give back to those who have endured the physical, psychological, and emotional wounds of war. It could be as simple as driving a veteran to a medical appointment, to befriending a veteran who lives alone or in a nursing facility, or reaching out to a veteran who has just left service, maybe right here outside of Fort Huachuca. Please find and use ways to reach out to these veterans in an effort to care for those who have served. If we do this, working together with friends, neighbors, and our communities, we can ensure that the sacrifices made by our nation's finest and bravest never go unappreciated, and that their memories are never forgotten.
I've been asked to say a few words about Memorial Day, what it means to me. I'd like to start with telling you a little bit about myself. I spent over 32 years active duty in the United States Air Force. I retired 20 years ago. I guess you could say I'm still serving in several capacities. I have the honor of being the chairperson of the Arizona Veterans Service Advisory Commission. I'm the president of the Arizona Council of Chapters for the Military Officers Association of America. I'm the co-chair of the Northern Be Connected Community Network, and I am the chair of the Northern Arizona Veterans Coalition. On Memorial Day, we honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country and for us. Just under 1.2 million Americans in all U.S. wars have been lost. I know that's a big number, but as such it becomes somewhat impersonal. I'd like to bring it a little bit closer to home and maybe just share with you what I think about on Memorial Day. I lost 2 close friends in Vietnam, and I think about them often around this time of the year. But there is one loss that hits me the hardest each Memorial Day. A special person. Her name is Sherry Lynn Olds, Senior Master Sergeant, United States Air Force. Sherry was born in Panama City, Florida, and she spent 15 of her 18-year Air Force career at Tyndall Air Force Base in Panama City. When I was the commander of the Air Force Civil Engineer Support Agency, and that was around 96, Sergeant Olds was my protocol officer, and she was absolutely exceptional. One day she came to me telling me she wanted to see more and do more, and she asked for my help to get a special assignment. She got that assignment in July of 96. Almost 2 years later to the day, Al-Qaeda completed its first attack ever at the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi, Kenya. Sherry was in that embassy, and she was killed. She was 40 years old. On the 15th of August of 98, I presented Sherry's parents with her Purple Heart. And I had the honor to participate and witness the drive from the ceremony to the cemetery, 11 miles. Amazingly, both sides of the road, shoulder to shoulder, were the people of Panama City to say goodbye to their hometown girl. That's what I think about on Memorial Day. So why is it important for us to come together on this day to honor those that served and gave all? Because if not us and others like us, then who? So someone will always be able to give an answer to the question, who do you think of on Memorial Day?
Please join me in a moment of remembrance to pay respect to those who are no longer with us.
We honor those who have passed, whose memories our love will outlast, for they gave the ultimate sacrifice and chose to ultimately lay down their life. We honor those who served us proud, who took the oath despite others' doubt, who didn't know if the day would come that this goodbye would be the last one.
But still they choose to lead the way, to give it all so we could stay. We honor those that gave it all, who took a stand so we would not fall.